Welcome to the Parenting Versus podcast. Good morning.
Good morning. Wow.
Wow, what?
Wow. Just wow. Since the last time we recorded, wow.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that long ago, actually.
It was long enough.
Like a month?
No, it was like before the election, I believe.
No.
Really?
Yeah, we have one from last month, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, so we're averaging one a month at this point. That's more than we have done lately. Recently,
I think
as of late.
I think before that was like Mother's Day.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to say it until it's done every time. I still have pieces of wood on the side of the house from last Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's the last time we recorded.
Yeah, you guys were supposed to build me a planter box.
A flower bed.
A raised flower bed. What is behind my head?
Oh,
Okay.
It's a planter. I mean, not a planter. It's a mailer.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting on the raised flower bed. Hopefully the weather will turn here to be consistently pleasant, and then you guys can go finish the job. Although we have those like high-speed internet, like
It's fiber.
whatever.
They're
the
installing
hell.
fiber in our neighborhood.
So they're like digging up all the sidewalks. So maybe now is not the best time.
No.
But eventually I will have a raised flower box. I don't know when, but someday.
Yeah. Well, it feels good to be in this room.
Yeah,
It feels good to podcast. We used to podcast all the time.
I know.
In a simpler time.
It was a simpler time.
Why did we have so much time to podcast? Why did we, I don't know.
I think it's, honestly, I think when our kids were young, they're still young, but when they were younger, they were easier to entertain. Like, they would just play in the backyard, and we could sit there, or we'd go to a park, and we could sit there, and, now it's more like, Dad, can you approve this on my app? Dad, can you give me more time on my iPad? Blah, 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 blah. And then I think also we're just busy. Like, life has just picked up,
I don't know. I feel like the kids had different demands.
Yeah.
But they were still, taking up the same amount of time.
I don't know. I think also, for me, I've just been so mentally exhausted that,
Yeah.
Putting the time aside to be like, okay, one more thing, even if it's something I enjoy sometimes, is, really hard for me.
I think a lot of people are on the verge of, or in the middle of burnout.
I thought you were going to say mental breakdown.
I mean, maybe that too.
And I'm like, yep. Sorry. No doubt, I can't talk. Everybody's heard about all the, everything all the time news.
The tomfoolery.
I mean, it's not even news. It's just shock and awe value factors. I can't even talk. I'm having a hard time with words. We all know social media every 2 seconds has a new rage bait scenario happening, and it's really easy to get stuck in it and sucked in and angry and mad. And I've had to delete my Instagram a couple times,
But the good news is there are still thrift shops.
That's the good news. Yeah, there are still thrift shops. That's my happy place.
I found this, and I don't want to switch gears yet.
No, you're fine.
I wanted to talk about something about thrift shops.
Mm-hmm.
But, no. There's this video I saw about thrifting, and there are these HD, recording cable boxes that are obsolete now, but they have, these hard drives in them.
Mm-hmm.
And but this guy.
This one guy.
He's like, do you need more storage space for your computers? I was like, yes. How did you know? And he's like, go to your thrift shop. I'm like, cool, you got me. I'm
listening.
I'm there already. And he's like, check out these cable boxes. They have these really cool hard drives in them. They're 1 terabyte hard drives, and you can just get free, not free, but really cheap storage for your computers. I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, I don't know. The algorithm it just knows me.
No, but that's cool. I wouldn't have thought about that, and I think it's cool to be able to. I hate that I say cool because I feel like it dates me, but I don't care.
Our kids say cool.
Kind of.
The Rizzler.
I'm all about repurposing, reusing, recycling, reducing, reusing, closing the loop. Do you guys remember that song?
I do.
Is that an Oregon thing, or is that
No, that's a national...
Recycle, reduce, reuse,
I think that's...
and close the loop. You guys, that was a thing here too?
Yeah, there was a lot of,
remember
from the National Ad Council.
Yes.
And they had... So there was that... there was a lot of, really important topics taught to us via some like cartoon. Like Smokey was the what do you call it? The wildfires.
And he's from New Mexico, by the way. He's from Capitan, by the way.
And Lincoln County.
Yeah.
And Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois. Crime.
Yep.
Like he's our crime guy.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe taught us not to smoke cigarettes in the bathroom.
I thought you were going to say, taught us not to smoke meth. I don't know why that was like...
Or meth.
I mean, don't smoke anything, really.
And then, and there was that, and then recycling. Dude,
and then Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
That song will forever be in my brain. It like lives rent-free in my head all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I think about it more than I should, really.
Yeah. No, it's good.
It's true. I wake up and there's like the Captain Planet song, and I'm like, oh, you again, huh? Well, well, well.
well.
Fancy meeting you here in my brain.
Look
first
who
thing
we've
in the
got
morning.
here.
No, but I think it's really cool when you can find ways to, like, just like find new uses for old things. I think we should do more of that. I think that we, obviously we are living in a consumerist hellhole right now, like a capitalist freaking hellscape. But like, first of all, I'm going to sound like an old person. They don't make things the way they used to, and that's the truth. You should
because everything's made in China.
Well, no, everything's made to fall apart so that you'll buy more of it, and you'll perpetuate capitalism. Schmamazon.
But it's so convenient, though.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
I need to buy things on Amazon right now.
We are willing to trade convenience for quality, and that's our fucking deal.
Hey, this is a kids' podcast.
It is not a kids' podcast. In fact, I'd say it's quite the opposite. So we're accustomed to quick, easy, cheap, convenient, kind of like your mom. Ooh, sorry.
You're in rare form today.
Yeah. But no, I think it's good that we can find new uses for old things. I think that we should do that more. I think it forces us to be creative, and it forces us to critically think sometimes too. I like going to thrift stores and just kind of seeing what there is, not just for like reselling, but like just to see like, okay, like for example, I really want an espresso machine. We used to have one. I feel like at this point in my life, I would like one again. Am I going to go drop a ton of money on one? I mean, I would love to, but like the reality is I shouldn't.
Yeah.
So like, I'm going to go try to find just a simple like espresso machine at like Savers, and I probably can. And it's fine. That works. It's good enough. And people donate perfectly good, perfectly new things because they're bored and they're chasing like that capitalist like lifestyle of like new. And so they donate things that are still good. And like me personally, like even clothing, like I don't buy like new clothes really. The only thing I buy new are like bras and underwear and socks. Everything else I buy at thrift stores because it's just more sustainable. It's better. Fast fashion, like Shein. I don't know how you say it because I don't buy from them.
We figured this out. It's you looked up.
Is it Shein?
You looked up the pronunciation.
I know, but I don't remember.
I think it's Shein.
But like stuff like that is really bad for the environment. I mean, they're just fast fashion, crappy produced like clothes. People buy it because it's popular this week. They spend a ton of money on cheap shit. It comes from China in the mail, and by the time they get it, they want something else, and so they're buying more. And then they're donating all of that stuff, and so it's bad for emissions. It's bad for the environment. I'll get off my soapbox, but you should really try to thrift when you can.
Yeah, no, I agree. I buy any clothes I buy, for the most part, are going to be from a thrift store.
Yeah.
I think also like I don't go through a lot of clothes. Like I've had the same 3 pairs of Levi's since literally 2021. Which
but
I don't know.
They're made to last, though.
Yeah, I did buy those new at the outlet store in Troutdale.
Yeah, but those will probably
Oregon.
last you a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like they're well made. Like
yeah.
That's how I feel about like Pendleton stuff too. Like Pendleton stuff will last forever. Like literally forever.
So I don't know. If I buy any like clothes, I'll buy them from the thrift store, and if I get bored of them, and then I'll donate them again. So whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I think like there's this thing. I think you have to think about ethically made things. You have to think about like if you're going to spend money on something new, it should be something that's going to last for a very long time. Like, it shouldn't be something that's just going to like fall apart in like a month or a year or 2 years. Like I have a leather jacket that I bought back in like, I don't even know, like the early 2000s maybe. From, I can't remember where, and it still works. I still have it. I'm not gonna, it's gonna age well. And I think as far as being like a woman too, I don't know why that's funny. Joke's on me, I guess. When you look at fashion and you look at clothes, you should shop for like style and like classic style. Because there's a difference between like, what was that quote? There's like a difference between like style and like trendy. Like if you buy things that are classically in style, they're never going to go out of style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, yeah, no, that's true.
They're going to weather the ages.
Honestly, like, I don't think too much about fashion, and I honestly don't give a shit most of the time, which is apparent maybe. But like, I know what I like. Like I really, I know what kind of shoes I like. I buy them. I've been buying them for years. It's either some kind of like Vans. I do like old school Vans. I'm starting to like Adidas a little bit. Jeans if I have to. Shorts in the summer, and like a black T-shirt. And I don't know. I feel comfortable, and I don't care. And I think it's. I don't know, maybe I should care more, but...
No, I mean, I think you can put together what you have to look nice. Like, for example, like a classic thing would be like a little black dress. Like, every woman has
I'm not going to wear that. A little black dress.
No, every woman has a little black dress. Why? Because little black dresses are good for so many things. They're classic, they're stylish, they're never going to go out of style, they're for every occasion. Like, you can never go wrong with buying a really well-fitting
I'm sure I could find
dress.
a little black dress that is out of style. Maybe like poofy sleeves.
Maybe, but I think at this point...
And frills.
I don't know. Okay.
I miss those sunglasses.
I miss that hoodie.
And we're looking at our... We're in the workshop. Okay, we didn't even draw the picture. We usually do that.
We don't have to.
We're in the workshop, and we have a Google... I think I say this
Who
on
cares?
it.
They don't care. They can't see.
Well, if they're playing the drinking game...
Oh, my God.
The one person who listens to this or maybe people don't listen to
Hey,
this.
one person that's drinking. What are you drinking these days? I'm curious.
Yeah. Anyways, we have a Google TV in the workshop, and there's a picture of me and Lindsay. Where is that?
I think it's in Arizona. We were driving to Palm Springs.
Is it Arizona?
Yeah, with my brother. We were driving to Palm Springs for some reason, and that was a stop along the way, wasn't it?
No, that is March 21st, 2020. That was COVID land. We are in the Gila. That's on our way up to this like ghost town.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's when we stayed in. Where did we stay?
Silver City.
I know, but where did we stay in Silver City? I forgot.
It was like a crappy hotel because everything was closed down. It was like the only one that was open at the time, and they wouldn't let us use the pool or the hot tub or anything else.
I don't remember that.
Because it was early quarantine.
I remember the trip, and I enjoyed the trip.
I think it was like a Hampton Inn. It was like nothing fancy. It was just like the only thing that was like up to COVID standards at the time.
And we wanted to go to like a brewery, but like the pandemic was just like commencing. Like at that point, like things were shutting down.
We went to the brewery, remember, and they said you can't drink it in here. You have to take it to go. You have to get a growler and take it to go. We can't let you sit inside. It was like at the very beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Silver City's cool though. That was my first trip
to
Silver City.
I think we sat there and drank beer like by that river walk thing outside.
Yep.
Because that's all we could do. And then we went to the...
It was a cool trip though.
Faywood Hot Springs, which was nice. We met 2 naked dudes.
Yeah, Baptist preacher.
Yeah, and it was like a clothing optional soak. I mean, we had our swimsuits on, but like, yeah.
I mean, isn't clothing optional always a thing?
No.
Yeah.
But, it was the most awkward, probably 40 minutes of my life. Yeah. I don't want to see some old 80-year-old's balls just like hanging out while he's trying to talk to me about like my anniversary plans.
Yeah.
Like, no thanks.
Well, we're the ones that ventured into the naked area.
We were the only ones there until we weren't. Yeah. The one guy though, he's like, I was a Baptist preacher in Alabama. I was like,
I remember thinking like when I'm going into this area, it was clothing optional.
Yeah.
But then I was wondering like, am I required to take my clothing off? but that's, clothing optional. That implies
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there's an option.
There's an option.
But
There's a choice there.
anyways, so yeah, that was
That was a fun trip.
that was
It was a
5 years.
weird-
That was
weird
5 years ago.
Yep.
That's insane.
It is insane. It's even more insane now because I think, the pandemic was batshit crazy, and now our government's batshit crazy. Like,
Hey, we're used to it.
things are just getting crazier by the day.
There's a generation. I was thinking about this the other day. There's a generation that dealt with a lot of crap, and nothing swayed them. And this was like I think it's the Great Generation.
The greatest generation.
These were the people who were born like turn of the century, like 1880 to like maybe like 1910 or something.
That would have been my great grandmother.
Yeah, and they dealt with the frickin' Dust Bowl, the Great Depression.
The rise of technology and
They
cars.
dealt with World War One and 2. They dealt with all kinds of shit. And after that, nothing surprised them. They're just like, anything can come up, and they're like, meh. Like, we'll get through this. We got through the frickin' World War II and Hitler and the Great Depression and all kinds of other crap. So
what's crazy to me is I was talking to my friend who is also a barista, and she's very young. She was born in 2002, the year I graduated high school. So that's cool. And I was explaining 9/11 to her, and I was like, oh my God, you weren't even alive. Like, oh my God. Like, 9/11 was like something she just read about in history in high school. And I was just like thinking to myself, like, people our age, like, we all know where we were. We all know what was happening. We remember that day. Like, and I'm thinking, like, it was so weird to me to think that I'm existing with somebody who, like, doesn't have a personal point of reference for that at all.
Yeah.
Like, I was explaining to her, like, how people felt and, like, why it was so impactful and, like, the feeling, like, the just general feeling of people in the country. Like, it's so weird to me.
I think for to put that in a comparison for our generation would be like the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Like, that happened 20 years before we were born. Right? Like,
In the 70s.
well, I guess 10 years before we were born. Yeah, so it was
60s,
it was
70s.
just winding down when we were being born.
Well, my friend's dad was in the Vietnam War, and I remember it, like, being really, like, he didn't talk about it. It was really, every time he would start to think about it or talk about it, he'd tear up. Like, it was, and I remember not understanding the emotion behind that. I mean, I was just a kid, too, but, like,
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy.
So how are you feeling? How are you feeling about all of this? All of this.
I don't know. I'm feeling like I have lots to do on a Saturday. It is Saturday. And it's not bad though. It's like good. It's like good to do things. I also feel like, and I was talking to our son about this, Luke. You know him.
I do know him. Yeah, he came out of my womb, so yeah, I know him pretty well.
Yes, he did. But he's like, Dad, I just really want to go on like a road trip. I just want to drive out of town with you guys. I like doing that. He's like looking out the window, just like
yearning for adventure.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, son, me too.
Oh, you were just like your parents, homie.
Like, that's one of my favorite things to do is just to
Get
go
the F
drive.
out.
Even if it's like, we used to do this all the time. We don't anymore that much. But
I
we
hate when
would
you say stuff like that.
No, like, it's not your fault.
No,
though.
like you always talk in absolutes. Like we never.
Okay, well,
That's not how life works.
But I know, but it is never, and it has. I mean, for the last like couple months, we haven't done this in a long time.
Okay, so it's not never. It's just for the last couple months.
Okay,
Let's
so,
be clear.
Yeah, let me finish. We have not done this in a long time, but like we would get these like wild hairs and just like go somewhere, and we didn't have like a destination. It would be on a whim, and we'd pack a snack bag and some drinks, and get the kids in the car, and we would be like, "Hey kids, we're going." We're like, "Where are we going?" We're like, "I don't know," and they would be like, "Okay, let's get in the car." Like,
I feel like we've had sickness. We've also had freaking baseball and sports and all these things that we've been like committed to.
there's a lot of things going on, but like
Tennis.
also we have a lot to get done at our house too. Like
Yeah,
we're
we do.
doing a lot of things at our house, which is fine. I'm not mad about it, but like, those were things that we would do pretty frequently.
I think us both being ADHD individuals, we need to sit down with a calendar, God help us, and I hate to sound like a freaking stick in the mud, but like schedule
I have a chalkboard right here.
Like, that doesn't help me at all. That is not even helpful. I don't care about that
I
at
wasn't
all.
suggesting it. I was just saying, like, I have a chalkboard I wanted to show to you.
Neat. It used to be my chalkboard. I know.
I know you didn't want it.
No, I tried to sell it
But
at
yeah,
a
no,
garage sale, and
I
here
think,
we are.
yeah, like getting things on a calendar, that's good. For me, like organizing my thoughts first thing in the morning, like getting I don't know what it is about like the physical act of checking something that's
It's tangible to
yeah.
your brain. No, I think this is the hard part of, like, it's all the hard part of parenting, but, like, for example, like next week, our kids have their science fair project due, which you need to help Riley with that
We
this
already
weekend.
got everything all set up.
No, you don't.
We have it conceptualized.
That's not set up.
I know.
That doesn't
I know.
mean shit.
We need the poster board and we'll put the things
So
on
when
there.
are you going to do that?
I don't know. Right now?
It's going to have to be this weekend. Anyway, what I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted was this week, like on Thursday, Friday, all of a sudden my email just went nuts, and it was like, band concert next Tuesday, science fair Thursday, Lorenzo wants to go with John to this on Wednesday, this and this and this. And I'm like, well, there goes the rest of the week. Like, it's all planned now. Like, it's just crazy. Like, stuff just comes up to the point where I'm like, it's like told to me, and I'm there for the ride, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's
like
tough.
life is just like, now you do this. Here's some more kids stuff. Do this now. And you're just like,
It just keeps coming.
Okay. You know, like, you're trying to keep up, and you have all these things you have to do. Like, to be honest, I, like, don't know why we signed our kids up for the science fair. Like, I think that's just one more thing personally, but that's just me. The less obligations I can have at this point, the happier I'm going to be. And, like, I know that baseball season's coming, so, like, that's where my brain's at. Like, that's the only obligation I am going to have on the weekends for, like, the next 4 months. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can't manage it all. My brain is tired and I can't handle it. And then I'm in school and I have work, and then work has been kind of crazy. And then it's like, I'm doing this other volunteer thing. It's just, there's so much happening, and I'm one person, and I feel like I'm going to implode.
I can tell. You gonna be okay?
Mm-hmm.
So,
So,
what's the bright side?
I'm not dead yet. I don't know.
We're breathing.
Yeah. It just, yeah. This is, and I'll be honest, so I haven't taken my medication today yet for ADHD. And this is how my brain works. Like, when I can't sort out all my thoughts and they're all coming at once, this is what it feels like. And I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. So, by the way, when Kennedy says that ADHD is not a real thing, fuck you, first of all. Second of all, it is a real thing, because, like, I'm living with it and it is fucking hard. And I know you are too. Like, and parenting adds another layer of, like, executive functioning that I have to figure out. And that for me is really tough when I don't have the right things in place.
So, what are some ways to manage that have worked for you?
Well, medication, first of all. And people get all triggered about that, but it's, I mean,
So, outside of medication, what are some things?
why isn't that a
because I
valid
want
thing?
because I want to know the coping. Like,
Well,
what have you learned?
I had existed with ADHD for 37 years before I was diagnosed, right? And when I was younger, I used to drink to take the edge off. And it's interesting because now I know the science behind that. Like, alcohol slows your brain down. It's a depressant. So it would actually make me feel like somewhat like okay and normal and relaxed. Can't do that now. Exercise helps a lot. I need to find the time for that. That's one of those things that I really need, and I really need the time to do it, and I need to figure out how to make that work.
Mm-hmm.
I did buy an exercise bike, which is cool.
I need to fix it.
Yeah, we need to fix it. It wasn't
Facebook Marketplace. That's
Yeah.
my other addiction outside of thrift stores.
No, it's oh my gosh, there's so many cool things on there though. It's like hard. You're like, I want all of it. Yeah, so I got an exercise bike. We just need to fix it. It's stuck on the like resistance of like 7. So it's like cycling uphill.
So it's
pretty
disassembled,
much.
and I've isolated the problem. I just need to figure out how to fix the problem. So that's where we're
Yeah.
at.
So I would like to use that, you know.
So exercise.
Doing things with my hands. I think I've told you that. Like doing stuff in the garage, painting furniture. Yesterday I got a really crazy ADHD whim and I painted like a whole wall of our house because it needed to get done and I had the momentum and I was like, well, better harness this now because I don't know when I'm going to get this again. That's a very ADHD thing. Like when you do something and you're motivated, you do it like 300%. But you don't know when or if that motivation is going to come back. And so you can't count on it. So it's like if it happens and you get that whim and you have the time, like go with it and do it then because you don't know when you're going to feel that way again.
Yeah.
Traveling helps with that, you know. And I think also just in practical terms, like diet and getting adequate sleep, which I'll be honest, I haven't slept great the last couple days because we've had visitors in our bed.
Yeah.
Like,
Luckily, our bed is giant, so it's.
Yeah, our daughter tends to like, she wants to like spoon. She like clings up, and so I like to spread out, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
But just like practical things, getting outside. I like doing yard work and gardening, stuff like that. Actually, I really enjoy. I actually don't mind yard work at all. The only thing about yard work right now is like allergy stuff, but like for the most part, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Seeing friends, being around people that I like.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that tomorrow. I have coffee/brunch with a couple of very old friends of mine from high school here. One of them's in town from Phoenix, and the other one I haven't seen in a million years. She lives in Rio Rancho, so it'd be nice.
So, if I were to distill those down to like things, those are things that help you to like get through.
Yeah.
So, doing things with your hands and friends. Okay. And exercise should be, but it's not right now.
And that's partially just my fault. Like, when I think about all the stuff I want to get done and do in a week or a day, like, that's not, like, high on my priority list. And maybe it should be, but, like,
Yeah.
I can always find other things that I need to do more, I feel like. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like me and you are much different in a lot of different ways.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, I know.
I think I do become overwhelmed, but it's not like a chronic. It's not like a chronic overwhelm, like always there feeling overwhelmed. It's in the moment I could get overwhelmed, but like in general, like most of my day, I think I'm just going from task to task. And if I'm accomplishing a task, then I feel good. And I think the things that keep me going, like the things that are the most valuable to me, are you and like the kids and time. Because I know that the one thing that I can never, I don't want to squander time.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked working in this room right here. I'm not working at home anymore. They forced us to go to the office. But thank you, Doge. But I would have these pictures continually going, and like it's pictures of our kids flashing back, and I'm like, man, I loved that time. I loved that thing, and like there might have been difficulty at the time, like maybe we were struggling with like paying some bills, or maybe we were struggling, having a tough spot in our marriage, or maybe we were struggling with like our faith, or like with our parents, or finding out some news, or whatever. Like there's always things that are going on, but like these pictures flash in front of my face. I'm like, man, I'm like so lucky to have these beautiful kids, and like our marriage has been all over the place, but like overall, like it brings me like joy, like that that we made it this far, right?
Yeah.
So
I think I don't know. I think it might be different just being like a woman too and a mom. I'm always thinking about the next thing that I have to do or get done. like when I'm in the middle of the current thing. And I think that's where a lot of the overwhelm comes from. It's like there's just this mental load that
Do you
you
feel like there's
carry.
going to be a consequence if it doesn't happen, though?
Sometimes.
Maybe that's where we're different, because I do feel that. Like, there are some things that I've been wanting to get done forever. But I think that for me, if I feel like and I need to care more about this, but I feel like if I don't, there's not a whole lot of backlash if I don't fix X,
See,
Y, Z.
I have like an internal nagging backlash where
Yeah.
it's like it will not let me think unless I get it taken care of. Um, this is just, and this is a really stupid example. Like, I hate this, but it's just how I am. For example, I'll be at work and I'll have all this stuff piling up at work and I'm trying to get that done and taken care of in the moment there, right? And then I'm like, oh crap, I gotta run home and make sure that I let the dog out before I go get Luke from school. But if I don't get up there to Luke's school in time, I'm not gonna have a good place to park. And this is silly. It's silly. It's stupid. But like at his school, our middle schooler, you have to get there relatively early because it is such a shit show trying to get in and out of that area. Like, I've literally almost seen kids get hit by cars.
You have,
So,
or no, Luke did. A kid did get hit by a car.
yeah. Thankfully they were okay.
She's safe, yeah.
But like what I'm saying is, in order to make that part productive and successful and not stressful, I have to think ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly thinking one step ahead of where I am.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. And then on top of it, while I'm going to pick up Luke, I will have my phone ringing from work, having them say, do you know where this is? Do you know where that is? Can you do this? And I'm like, no, I'm not there. Like, and then I'm thinking
hit that
about...
voicemail button.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking, okay, once I pick up Luke, I got to go get the little kids, and then by that time I have to see if they have homework, and then it's dinner time. What are we going to do for dinner tonight? Oh, and then I forgot Lorenzo has this thing
That's
tonight.
exhausting. But
yeah,
like,
it is. It's fucking exhausting.
But here's where it's different. Like, I think about all those things too, but I think I've been conditioned. I think I've conditioned myself throughout my entire year because I've always been late. Like I've told you this, the only reason I've ever been in trouble in high school was for being late because I could never make it to class on time. Mm-hmm. And I think that like even today, I feel like if there's not like a concrete immediate consequence that I know, like for work, if I have to be at a meeting at 8:00, like I will then stress out about that and I have to get to work. Like if whatever. But if it's something that can be fluid, then I don't care. And I am the last minute king. Mm-hmm. Like I will do everything last minute and I don't care. Like and there's no consequence to me.
But it puts stress on me when you're like that.
No, I know. But like for myself, if it's just me, I don't care about time stuff because there's no, I don't care. Like you can deal with it. Like I will, and I won't be rude. Like if it has to do with me being polite and rude, that's what will drive me for being on time. But if it's just like me involved, there's the world is going to be okay. Like I don't care. And I know that's not on you. That's different for you, and you have different things that you deal with. But
it's different though. As a woman and a mom, the mental load you carry is different, and the shame you carry when it doesn't get done.
Can I pause you there? I think that
no, I'm not done.
But I think there's men who deal with that too. Right?
If your kid doesn't get their homework in time, or the teacher calls you, or the whatever, for whatever reason that is, it does feel like it falls more on the mom to manage that. Like, and it's frustrating, and it's like if the kid doesn't do it, it feels like it falls on me, and I'm the one that's responsible for that failure.
That's sad, and
it is sad.
Men need to do better.
And I don't think it's necessarily like men's fault. I think it's society's fault because we've put these like gender roles on people, and like we like, and it's like, here's an example. Like, if a man spends all this time at work and makes a bunch of money, oh, he's providing for his family. He's such a good man. He's providing for his family.
That's all he has to do.
He's not neglectful. He's not like selfish. He hasn't chosen his career over his family. He's doing it for his family. What a good man. Yeah. If a woman does that, she's not a good mom. She's selfish because she's choosing her career over her kids. And you can't win as a woman. It's like if you're at home, it's like, why don't you work? And if you work, it's like, why aren't you at home?
I am so oblivious to that. I think for me, because like,
It's a double standard
no, hang
for
on,
women
hang on.
everywhere.
I think I'm so oblivious to that because those gender roles, to me, are so ridiculous that they just don't exist in my head.
You might be the minority.
But hang on, like there are things to me that are no brainers. Like I take the kids to school. I enjoy it. It's probably one of the best things in my day. Even though like the mornings can be chaotic and we're getting better. But that is one of the best things in my day is taking the kids to school because I love being with them. And when I was a teacher, I could spend more time with them, and it was amazing. But I get this time in the morning to talk to them and to ask them about their day in school, and it's probably only like 15 minutes. But I love taking my kids to school. But maybe you shared this with me or something on the internet, but like somebody was saying like, oh yeah, Bill Gates used to take his kids to school in Seattle, and like all the women would take their kids to school. But then after people saw Bill Gates was taking his kids to school, like more men started dropping off their kids at school, and I was like, and I stopped and I was like why is this a story? Like, isn't it?
Because gender roles exist.
Yeah, and like there's things like cooking. I love to cook, and I know that if I can take the one thing off of your plate, like that makes me.
I am happy to
that
let
makes
you
me
cook.
that makes me happy. Like I'm not an awesome cook.
You are actually.
But I can, like, I don't mind it. I get it done. I can kind of put the news on in the background or a podcast and just kind of do it. And if I can do this one thing for my family, then that makes me happy.
You might be the minority of men who understands that, but society, again, I'm not saying you or like all men, but society puts these weird double standards on women that are, you're going to fail either way. Like you can't win. And so it's crushing because society puts that on us. Then we put it on ourselves. Then women put it on other women, and it's not okay.
But how though? Because that's one thing I'm
trying to explain it to you if you'd let me.
No, I am.
I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
For example, breastfeeding is one.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Thank God. No, breastfeeding is a really good example of societal pressure. Like you have a baby, they emphasize, oh, you need to breastfeed. It's better for your baby. It's healthier for your baby. Your baby needs this. You need to try to do this. Therefore, if you don't or you can't, you're a failure.
Yeah.
Like they push it on you so much, and then if you feel like like let's say you have a medical reason why you can't.
Yeah.
Oh, you're terrible.
Yeah.
So hold on. So like I remember when our firstborn was a baby, I had a really hard time breastfeeding him because I had never done it before. He had never done it before. I never really learned. They don't tell you that like your baby doesn't automatically know how to do that. Mm-hmm. Like you have to learn together. Like they don't tell you that.
Yep.
So you assume like when your baby comes out, they're going to know what to do. They don't. And then on top of it, I was working at the juvenile detention center, and I remember you like bringing him to the parking lot so that I could come out and breastfeed him in the car.
Yeah. Did we have a midwife that was like, I remember her.
She was kind of granola.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember her saying like, yeah, if you want to get your kid to be potty trained, just let them run around all naked and stuff like that. She was cool, I thought, but like.
No, she was,
but maybe we were just very impressionable.
But there's like this pressure, like. The reality is our lifestyle at that point did not really allow me to realistically breastfeed him while I was working in the jail every day.
I remember we had frozen bags of your breast milk, and we would label it AM PM because our midwife told us like, the morning breast milk wakes them up, the night breast milk gets them to sleep, and that's one thing that both of us needed was sleep, because I worked a night shift at Verizon and you worked during the day. So
and then again also like at workplaces even, and the juvenile detention center obviously is like an extreme. There's cameras everywhere. There's nowhere I could go to just pump. Yeah. Like, and I remember we went to an Isotopes game, a baseball game, and I was still trying to breastfeed.
Oh yeah,
him.
and they're like, go to the bathroom.
They were like, I was like, is there a place I can like breastfeed my baby? You know, because I'm not comfortable just like whipping it out. That's just not like, no shame on women that are cool with that. I'm just, me personally, like I get really self-conscious, but like if you can do that, then do it. That's fucking awesome. I can't. Yeah. But like, I asked them like, is there a place I can go to just breastfeed my baby? And they were like, well, you can go in the bathroom and sit in one of the stalls. And I'm thinking like, Would you want to eat your dinner in a bathroom stall?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. That's disgusting. And
Yeah.
like the world wasn't even at that time like compassionate towards like women just needing to like
Can I just
nurse their children.
Can I also say that women's bathrooms? So this is a point of like sexism in architecture.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading about this. Women's bathrooms are not designed efficiently like men's bathrooms. Okay, so obviously you're not going into men's bathrooms very often, but like men's bathrooms, a typical men's bathroom is going to have 2 toilets and 3 urinals and 2 sinks. This last week I was at my work. I was looking at the fire escape map because that's something that
Okay.
that's a thing that Lorenzo does.
Yes.
And I was looking at the floor plan for the women's bathroom. I was like, that makes 0 sense. They had 3 stalls, so only 3 women can pee at a time. Whereas in the men's
And
bathroom,
God help you if you have a small child with you and you have to let them go to the
and
bathroom
in,
too. Oh
and
my
in the
God.
men's bathroom, there's 2 stalls and 3 urinals. So this can accommodate 5 men peeing / pooping at the same time. And the women's bathroom had 3 sinks.
Uh-huh.
And the men's bathroom had 2. And I was like, that makes 0 sense.
Well, when we went to the biopark to the zoo the other day, I went into the women's bathroom with Juliet, and there was an entire like wall, like bigger, like longer than this. It was 1 stall.
Yeah. And
1 stall.
I gotta say though, like since our firstborn was born, look at this guy. He's on our Google screen right now. He's grown so much. Beast Burgers. Anyways, since then I have noticed a lot more accommodations for women who are breastfeeding.
Yeah, it's
Like
come along. It's
at my
come
work,
further.
even on the Air Force base where I work, and God help us, hopefully they don't take them away. But there was a mom room,
Yeah, they
and
used to not have that.
yeah,
I used to have to change his diaper on the floor of public bathrooms. Like I remember going into Michael's
Yeah.
because I had to get like some craft thing
Oh.
with him, and he like had an accident, and I was like, oh, I need to go change him, and I went into the
Yeah.
women's room, and there was nowhere to change him. I had to lay
That's
my
a-
coat on the floor.
that's another thing that was
horrible.
like mind-boggling to me as far as gender roles are concerned. Men don't change babies' diapers. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I change my baby's diaper all the time.
Hold on,
Here's
shout
the thing.
out to the one man I saw doing it in a trunk at the zoo. I was
Yeah,
like, good on you, sir.
I've been there, loved
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah, that guy knew what was up. I was so proud of him. I don't even know him.
I loved changing my kids' diapers. Like, I loved it. I'm like, man, this is like, I'm a dad. Like, I got this kid here. I'm changing his diaper.
You are not a typical man in that you take a more active role in parenting than a lot of men. Like I have people I know who the husband doesn't really do much, like in terms of the child stuff, and I'm like, I wouldn't tolerate that.
I'm
shit,
not gonna
but
sit
a lot
back.
Of women do.
Like I am always gonna be there. I'm not gonna go full like Meet the Fockers and get like a fake boob and like put breast milk in there and do that. But
Yeah.
I mean, if I remember waking, like, okay, yes, there was times when we were both exhausted and a kid would be crying and they tell you you're not supposed to give them a bottle because that trains them. I'm like, well, I'm just
tired as
tired.
fuck. I'm gonna
go
what
give
they
them a
need
bottle.
right now.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
No, and that's the thing. Like I have heard about like men who like, you know, the baby's crying at night and the wife's sleeping, and the men will just sleep and let the women get up like 8 times a night.
Yeah.
Like there's no turn taking. Like that's horrible. And it's like just gender roles, they suck. And they're old and they're outdated and they're old fashioned, and like it's just, again, there's a mental load that society has put on women, especially mothers, to shame us if we do not conform to something that is impossible to conform to.
Yeah.
Like, I almost call it's like the Pinterest effect. It's like there's all these things about what you should be
Social media in general.
as a woman and a mother and what you should do.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm one person. I can't be all
Yeah.
those things.
That's another thing. Social media, like, needs to be regulated, and not just.
It's so unhealthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not awesome for adults, but you're an adult. I mean, yeah, this is all so new, right? Like, we grew up, we were there before the internet, really, but like we saw the rise. They call it Internet 1.0. Internet 1.0 was like when we were, you know, the infancy of the internet. Like, oh, Google, like we can check.
Encarta Encyclopedia.
Yeah, like we can, like Wikipedia. Holy crap, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Or I can send an email, or I can download music from
Napster?
SoundCloud or Napster. SoundCloud? No.
Napster.
Napster. you
What
know,
was the other
whatever.
one? There was
There was Audio Galaxy, and there was and then after LimeWire.
LimeWire. That's the one.
And then there's still pirating websites. I think it's called Pirate Bay.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then now Internet 2.0 is primarily consumed from your cell phone. So you got your TikToks, your Instagram, Facebook, MySpace. Not MySpace,
No,
but
nobody uses that anymore.
my grandma used to
Dude, can
call
I just respect Tom from MySpace? He created it, he got his money, and he got the hell out. Good on you, Tom.
Yeah, Tom, and then also Larry Page and Sergey, the founders of Google.
Yeah.
They're like some of the richest men in the world, but like nobody knows them because they founded Google, and they're like, peace.
Bye.
Yeah.
No, you know what? You can found something and make money, and that's great. You do you. Like, you don't need to, like, become a politician or a politician's little bitch-ass motherfucking dog in the White House. Sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all, actually. I'm not sorry.
It's a shit show. But no, like...
I'm not sorry.
Social media needs to be regulated, I think, mostly for, like, kids and for the fucking boomers. Sorry for cussing.
No.
Because they don't know, like, they're so easily fooled by whatever is in front of their faces, and AI right now is scary, and it's like not.
And they don't realize that it's AI.
And now it's even getting more so where you can't tell.
Well, the crazy thing though is like, so I watched this show. I think I've talked about it before. It's called Social Catfish. It's on YouTube, and it's these people who are in romance scams, right?
Romance.
And it's always a boomer, and it's the people that run it and that do the research and nicely like talk them off the ledge and tell them like this isn't real are our age. They're millennials. Elder millennials. And it's like you and I looking at this stuff, like we would look at like the stuff that's sent to these boomers, like the pictures and the video, and we'd be like, that is the shittiest like con job, editing job ever done. Like, how could you fall for that? They don't know. Mm-hmm. And it's really scary. They're giving like thousands of dollars to like these Nigerian scammers because they got sent a video of somebody with their lips moving and they think it's a real person, and you're just like, it's not even matching the words coming out of their mouth. Are you for real? Like, how do you not know that's fake?
Yeah. So there needs to be regulation. Our kids, I mean, two of them have, well, they all have devices. So they, like our two oldest, they have iPhones, and then our daughter has a iPad. None of them have social media except for Luke has YouTube. Yeah. And that's one thing I've been wanting to like, because you can send messages on YouTube. You can like YouTube wants to be like a TikTok. So we have not been regulating that. And then Juliet has Roblox, which her friend has Roblox, and she's been talking to her friend Roblox. But then I stopped to think for a second. I'm like, well, I need to be the parent who goes in, and yes, I want you to like enjoy video games and within balance, but
within reason.
I went in and I looked at her like friends and stuff, and she had like 23 friends or something, and I was like, we need to shut that down. And like, yes, you could be Riley's friend and you can be Emma's friend, and then like that's it. Yeah. So it's like being a parent.
It's just predatory. And that's the thing that worries me too, is like, we are in charge of teaching our kids how to be healthy on the internet and healthy on social media. But we also have to like parent our parents in this way. And that's, to me, really hard. Like, I work with some
Dude, they've bought
boomers.
They've bought into the propaganda.
Oh, for sure.
It's so
it's funny because they're like, well, I saw it on Facebook. I'm like, you realize that's just like an echo chamber, right? And like, whatever you click on, they're just going to feed you more of that.
The algorithm's going to give you more. And like, I realize that, and it's hard for me because seeing things that, it's the confirmation bias. Seeing things that confirm what you align with feels good. That gives you that rush of serotonin. Like
everybody wants to be on the right side of everything.
Yeah, like when I watch Jon Stewart Daily Show, like it makes me feel good. Like you know what I mean? But I know that I need to consume things that are like elsewhere. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go watch, even though I feel like I have a responsibility. Like I need to watch Fox News just to see what the other world is consuming. But
the other thing that I think people don't realize, like especially like again the boomer generation, like there is these weird pipelines based on what you click on that take you to some weird ass places. Like there's this
strange, the dark web.
No, like there's like this strange pipeline where it goes from like natural like recipes and organic eating and it goes all the way to like anti-vax.
Anti-vaxxing, yeah.
Like and I'm like you don't realize like they don't realize like this is a pipeline to some really extremist ideas. Like and you're not even paying attention, but if you keep clicking, "Oh, I think I want some more organic recipes. Oh, I think I want gluten-free." Eventually you're going to feed that algorithm enough to where it's going to take you to some weird fucking spots.
Yep.
And you have to be smart enough to know like, "Oh, you know what? No." Like
Yeah. No, it's scary stuff.
you know.
So,
But
but
I think we need to take a quick break because I need to get ready real quick.
okay, you gonna wrap it up after that though?
Well, yeah, we can wrap it up in a while.
All right, that was abrupt.
Well, no, I was just looking at the clock and I was like, oh crap.
I mean, let's roll with it though.
I literally
Okay.
have to plan ahead. I don't know if you understand
Yeah.
what I'm
Okay.
trying to say.
I get you. All right, we're gonna take a break.
But I couldn't say all the things, and I do. I couldn't say all the things. Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? There's no one here but me. Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? There's no one here but me.
All right, we're back.
We are back. We're really back this time.
Really back.
We're really back.
All right.
For reals this time.
So what are you listening to?
What am I listening to other than the countdown to the end of the world every night on the news?
Well, this is like totally out of context because it's currently March 2025. It's not June.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is, yeah, it's absolutely March 2025. Should we start over? Sorry, I didn't realize we were. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that threw me.
What?
Riley coming out here threw me.
It's fine.
And then I got distracted, as I do.
It's okay.
Why don't you just recap for everybody? Since it's been a while, and
This is supposed to be the outro to an episode that we started
in March.
3 months ago. I think March. Or it was a long time ago. It might have been April. Who knows? Anyway, I've been begging Lindsay to record this last piece so that we could just wrap up this episode. And then, in fact, I wanted to record another episode, but I don't know.
I feel like we might be on track to do like a deluxe episode at this moment in time.
No, this is going to be a wrap up.
Oh,
I mean, we might be on track to do a deluxe. I don't know what we're trying to say. What a bunch of little tiny birds coming
I
in.
know. I heard them, and I can't handle.
little itty
I'm so
bitties.
distracted.
Yeah, that's okay.
Distractible.
So, anyways, this
So-
is the end of an episode that we started a long time ago. I have no idea what we talked about. I do think it was something. I don't know. I think we were ranting about politics and stuff, but
We probably were, and yeah, we'll get into that later, probably in the next episode. Anyway.
anyways,
So
what are you listening to?
What am I listening to? So I'm going through my history because, oh my gosh, I've been listening to a lot of things. Where do I start? Well, listening is, I listen to whatever I feel like on the daily. Typically it's rap. Sometimes it's indie music. It just depends. For me, I listen to a lot of music when I'm in the garage doing work. And so it's just kind of like whatever's on. But then lately I've been sort of just in a mode of like, I've been all over the place, man. Like a lot of Royal Otis lately. Matt Corman, he's a rapper. I think I've talked about him before. I like him a lot. Norman San, another rapper that you kind of got me into. I love him, actually. He's great. I've gone back to The Clash a lot lately. I had a straight, like, obsession with The Clash in college and in my 20s, and I have revisited that obsession as of late, and it's good times. It's never disappointing listening to The Clash.
Nice.
Amadou and Mariam, I'm probably saying his name wrong. I don't speak French, but they are a group that they're kind of more like world beat style music. I'm sure people have heard of them. They're pretty popular. But again, revisiting them after a while. And I have been listening to a lot of Rage Against the Machine.
Surprising.
Not at all. Lots of Rage Against the Machine lately. And then there was one more that I feel like I'm missing, and of course I can't find it now. Oblé Reed. I'm gonna mistake his name too. He's a rapper from Seattle, and he had a new album come out recently this year in 2025. So I've kind of been going through some of his old stuff and then listening to his new stuff and sort of like taking mental notes and comparing. But good stuff either way. So yeah, that's what I've been listening to. What have you been listening to?
Well, what about podcasts? What do you want to do podcasts next?
Honestly, I haven't. Okay, to be fair, so, and I don't want to diss on any podcast, podcatcher. I had groups like
apps that play podcasts.
Kind of. So like, there's this network of podcasts, and I hate it, I love it because they have a really good podcast.
Is it Wonderly?
No, but same idea.
You don't want to name it?
It's called The Binge.
Oh, okay.
And their podcasts really are bingeable. But after you hit like 3 episodes of a series, they make you pay for it. So I get really into these stories.
Is it not in Apple Podcasts?
It's not like you have to pay for it. They're their own network. And it sucks because their stories are really good. They're really interesting. I just can't get myself to the point where I want to pay for it yet. Although
What's the name of the podcast?
There's a few. The one that I started, I'm going to have to pull it up. I'm sorry. It's been a minute.
How dare you?
I know. For shame. Oh, Catch Me If You Can, Ken. It's about a guy who's a con artist, and he's pretending to be the heir to, I'm trying to remember what that European brand is. Uniqlo.
Wow, there's 15 seasons?
Yeah, and they're all really good, from what I've heard.
You haven't listened to all 15?
No, because I can only listen to like 3 episodes of an entire story.
They're all here on my podcast.
No. But when you start to try to play them, it'll say, to listen to the rest of this, you have to subscribe.
Are you serious?
I am serious, and it sucks. It sucks so much.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Honestly, might be worth the money at some point. But, so the episode is, the story is Catch Me If You Can, Ken. It's about a guy who's a con artist. They follow a lot of true crime stories in real life, so it's really been interesting. And I like that a lot. I listened to the Pretend podcast and The Opportunist. I think I've mentioned those before. There was another one called Deadly Mirage, which was, I think it was a 60 Minutes or a Dateline-based podcast. Anyway, all the episodes of that one are up. You can listen to the whole thing.
Nice.
Mostly true crime.
So, pro tip. I don't know if this is a pro tip or not, but there was a podcast that I used to really like that also the same thing required a subscription. But I found out that if I listened to it on Amazon Podcasts, since we're already Prime members, we got those subscriptions for free. But the downside is you had to use like their app. So I don't know. Try it out.
The other podcast that I listened to that was like shocking and fascinating was called The Con, Caitlin's Baby. And I don't want to give too much away, but it talks about true crime within the scope of doulas. And possibly, well, I don't want to say Munchausen by proxy because that's not really it. But if you like those kinds of things and those topics, this is definitely an interesting podcast. So it's called The Con. It's by BBC and CBC, and it's called Caitlin's Baby.
Nice.
So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
All right. So I listen to music all day, every day, because I work in an office that's open, and I cannot deal with people's chewing and gossip and the shredder. Not Master Shredder from Ninja Turtles, but like the paper shredder.
Yeah.
I know that you guys probably thought it was Master Shredder.
I did. I was like thinking Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Like that was, I was like, oh yeah, Master Shredder, of course.
No,
I didn't realize he had a day job. So.
Yeah, he pulverizes paper so that it's not decipherable.
Maybe that's where his name came from.
Yeah.
Master Shredder.
the copy machine. You get the idea.
Yeah.
I wear noise canceling headphones.
Is he mad because he didn't get a pizza party? Is that what this is about?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wear headphones, and I'm not trying to be rude, but you know.
You're like,
it's
I
kinda-
just hate humans.
But anyways, I listen to music all day, every day. It helps me get motivated. But anyways, where was I? Music. I'm just looking at my most recent liked music.
Yeah.
If I like a song, that means I want to save it and go back and, you know. There's a couple of songs here. Let's see. Recently, I've been enjoying this singer. She's from the United Kingdom. I'm assuming just based off of her accent.
Singer?
Singer.
Singer?
Singer.
Singer?
Singer.
Like finger?
Singer. Her name is Rachel Chinoriri.
Oh.
Rachel Chinoriri.
Yeah.
And beautiful, like just kind of calm.
You might want to spell
Kind of
that last name for people. because-
Chinoriri.
Yeah.
Chinouriri.
Chinoriri?
Just sort of, I don't know what the words are, but it is brooding. Something like living in a melancholy, sort of like, I don't know, longing, maybe? I don't know. Anyways,
You really emphasize the G's in your word.
longing,
Longing.
maybe.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's good. And then other songs that I've been getting back into Nothing But Thieves. They're a really good band.
Yeah, they really are, huh?
But I like this song called "I Was Just a Kid,"
Yeah,
and
that's a
it's driving rock. It just like I don't know, I just love it.
I like the song Trip Switch. I listen to
That's
that
a good
lot.
song, too.
Yeah.
Our son Riley introduced me to a song that I've been really digging. It's called "Feel It" from Invincible, and it's the band is called D4VD.
Excuse our idiot neighbor. He's rubbing his engine.
Yeah, it's like a. Let's see, what is that like a?
Oh my God.
That is a 2007 Mustang. It's like the worst Mustang body.
Also, it's a
after-
residential neighborhood, bro. Like, chill.
So the Mustang did a reboot of the Mustang. So like there's the 80s, early 90s, which was like okay, whatever. And then they came back with these angular Mustangs. I think those are cool. But then the model after that,
It was like the ones
garbage.
that were trying to be like retro, but not.
no, the ones that were trying to be net retro, and I liked that one. But anyways, yeah. So
That's me.
yeah, this song really cool. And then what else? There's a band called Heat Miser. They're from like the 90s, and I think Elliott Smith is in it.
Really?
I think. I don't know. I might have to Google it. But there's a Elliott Smith's, what I thought was an Elliott Smith song. They're called Heat Miser.
Heat Miser?
Heat Miser. Let's see. This band. And I'm showing Lindsay on a thing. Yeah, consisting of Elliott Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're from Portland. What?
Yeah.
Was Elliott Smith from Portland? I didn't know that. I thought he was Seattle. Wow.
I think in the 90s they were one and the same.
Okay. Yeah, so Elliott Smith was in this band. I just learned something. Heat Miser, publicity photo from Frontier Records. Tony Lash, Elliott Smith, Brant Peterson, and Neil Gust. Which those names are familiar to me. So I'm sure they're from other bands that I've listened to. Oh yeah, Dandy Warhol's drummer. Just lots of Portland here. Lots of early 90s Portland. So yeah, it's good. It's a really good album. Roots of just very good emo. I guess emo? Indie rock?
Yeah. I would say indie rock for the time. I
Yeah.
don't think emo existed quite yet.
Yeah. And I've been really into, of course, the regulars, Hot Mulligan. There's this weird band that showed up on my Instagram feed, and they're called Father of Peace, and they're really strange. And everybody's getting System of a Down vibes from them on the comments, but I kind of get that, but it's just sort of like new funky rock kind of thing, and it's okay. Yeah. And then, of course, Me Without You. I've been listening to a lot of Me Without You.
I don't think I can get into System of a Down sounding stuff. Like, this is just
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah, I didn't at the time, and it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
When you said that, it reminded me of that,
Yeah.
that meme of just, like, the dog sitting at the desk with the burning stuff. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah. Millennials like everything.
fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
This is the most unprecedented now it's it's not unprecedented anymore because everything is precedented. But anyways, so yeah, how I get through the chaos of like just life, in the macro and micro worlds, is by going for runs and exercising and kind of being in my own mind. And my favorite band to listen to while I'm doing that is Me Without You. And I asked you what these lyrics meant. A glass can only spill what it contains. And I've loved Me Without You like forever, like freaking 2 decades. Saw them at Launchpad. That was still to this day probably the most amazing live performance I've ever seen in my life. You know the music video where he's throwing the rose petals?
Yeah.
He literally brought out a bag of rose petals, and it was just like, it was like heaven. It was crazy. It was just the most insane, just you're part of a community of just people just like being, and it was divine. Like, I don't know. I cannot explain it any other. There was 2 concerts like that.
You said we weren't doing a bonus episode.
I know we weren't, but I had to just say that it was just the most insane experience I've ever had in my life. Like, it was amazing. Launchpad, rest in peace. I mean, it's still there, but like, I don't think there's any good concerts there anymore. But there was, both of my 2 experiences of the most amazing performances were at that venue, Me Without You and then Blindside. It was just, yeah, both. But Me Without You takes the cake. But this song, these lyrics, I looked them up because I've always listened to them. I've always had this sort of a general idea of like what's going on. But very poetic, very, there's lots of layers. And I was trying to dissect them with you yesterday. So podcasts, let's see here. I listen to a lot of tech podcasts just to kind of get my mind off of things.
They're so boring.
Yeah. But there's this one, it's called Hard Fork, and...
Okay.
What?
Nothing.
And I probably mentioned this on the last one, but Hard Fork is really cool. They talk a lot about AI, which I am very interested in, just like where AI is going. A lot of people, like, I'm noticing that there are a couple of branches of people, like their thoughts on where AI...
Schools of thought.
Yeah, there's like the totally anti, like, AI, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's the worst ever, right?
Yeah.
It's doing things for kids. It's writing papers for kids. It's thinking for people. And I think maybe this is, maybe my opinion is not informed, but it feels like a lot of people who have those opinions have not spent a whole lot of time with AI or used AI as a tool. I don't know. But that's just my...
There's a lot of ways to use it as a tool and to critically think while still utilizing it. I think it's more an issue of learning how to prompt engineer correctly.
Yep.
That's just my opinion.
Yep. And I'm noticing that there are a lot of people who don't really know the route in which to use the tool.
Right.
And I think me and you, like, I got GPT-3 like when it was first publicly released, and I was
same.
Remember, and I was having it write poems, like, and I was like blown away. I was like, holy crap, this is insane. This is incredible. Yes, it hallucinates. Yes, it shouldn't be used for like factual information, but it's getting to the point even now where you can kind of more rely on it for like factual information, still with being cautious, of course, but anyway.
I've used it to find sources for things, and I actually have like double checked it just because I've been curious. Like, I will be like, give me 3 scholarly articles about this topic and cite the source, and then give me a link to where I can find it.
Yeah.
And so it actually does do that. I think you should definitely check and make sure that you're getting actual sources that are accurate and that they're not just like made up. But in my experience, it actually has cited sources and they've been correct, and I've linked back to them to double check. So it's helpful. It can be used correctly if you know how to use it correctly.
Okay, we're back for the 3rd time in 3 months. So that's what we listened to. It's a new day in a new week. The interruption we just had that is going to be just a few minutes ago on this podcast was Lindsay's parents saying goodbye. They are moving out of town in the same state. But anyways, we needed to wrap this up because it's been a long time.
It's been a very long time. Months in the making. Lots and lots of months. It's like the never-ending podcast. We've been trying to wrap it up for a long time, and it just hasn't happened. And every time we try, there's some new interruption or, life happens, and then we get sidetracked, and then we have to come back. Such is life.
Yesterday was 4th of July.
So now it's the 5th of July,
It's the 5th of July.
2025.
But we lit some fireworks with friends. Lots and lots of fireworks. Ate some queso and fried chicken.
And let me just be clear. I look at it as celebrating an impending revolution. I am not proud to be an American right now. I'm just saying it out loud because I think a lot of people feel that way. You can call me whatever you want, but the truth is, I'm pretty ashamed of my country and my government right now. So 4th of July felt really weird yesterday. It felt really displacing, at least for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I
just,
think that, yeah,
And at the risk of sounding like a bumper sticker, it's
coexist.
no, well, yeah, but no, it's hard to celebrate your supposed freedoms when other people don't have the same freedoms as you, or their freedoms are being taken away, or they are denied basic human rights. And that was really hard yesterday, just thinking about those things, and then thinking about Alligator Alcatraz, which is essentially a concentration camp. It's really disturbing to me. And what's more disturbing, and I'm sorry if I'm going to go off on a tangent, but I just have to get it out there. Selling merch based on other people's suffering is really fucked. And so, being an American is not a real prideful thing right now for me.
Yeah. And that's fair. Like yesterday, I was thinking about different things with our country. And one thing that kept going through my mind was the last line of the Pledge of Allegiance that every kid says in school, with liberty and justice for all. And I was tying justice to what Martin Luther King said in his letter that he wrote in prison. I don't know. I was reading that. I was looking at quotes, and it led me down a rabbit hole, and I was reading that letter, and there was a section of the letter where he goes on to talk about what is blocking people from justice, and it's not like the extremists, it's not the Ku Klux Klan, it's not the racists, it's XYZ, it is the white moderate, which is keeping. It's the apathy.
It's the lukewarm.
Yep. So I'm gonna say the United States, what our country is, I am proud to be a part of. There are so many wonderful people, so much wonderful art, a fantastic history of lots of fantastic people. The best bands that have ever existed, music, the best artists, the beautiful scenery, lots and lots of wonderfully different types of people. I think the best music.
I mean, I don't know.
So yes, I am 100% proud to be part of this country. And I think that the ideals and everything else that goes along with it are unique and long-lasting and overcome and stand above a rich man who wants to be completely powerful. I think this stands above, and I think time will tell. So I am proud.
I think that's a really nice statement, but I also think that people need to realize that they still have the power to do something. And you guys, the common person still has the pull to do something. We might not have money or political influence or bajillions of dollars and a rocket in space, but we still have the power of the common person, which is far more powerful than we realize. There's more of us than there are of them. And I'm going to sound like a goddamn hippie, but power to the people for real. We still have it. This is what drives revolutions, and this is what drives people for change. And I think that we need to remember that we are still capable of doing those things. it's apathy that gets nothing done. It's like when good men do nothing, that gets nothing done. I was listening to something that Frederick Douglass wrote yesterday, and he was talking about how the 4th of July is supposed to be a celebration, but for people that were in slavery, it felt different. And it was a different feeling for them than it was for the rest of the nation, because they were not included in that feeling, because it was liberty and justice for all except for them. And I feel like those sentiments are ringing very true right now. You know, what is it, like 150, 250, 300 years later? I don't even know. I'm terrible at math. But
Many years.
many years. But the really impacting thing was that the speech that I was listening to was being read by his great-great-great-grandchildren today. And it was still pretty true. And so with that, I would encourage people to love their neighbors, not look away when they see injustice, keep people accountable, and not stop fighting the good fight for the people that matter, because everybody does matter. Not just people with money, not just people with power.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of symbols that go around during 4th of July. And I'm going to say that patriotism and the American flag are not symbols that are owned by one political party or one movement. When I see the American flag, I see a symbol of an entire country. I see a symbol of,
A melting pot?
yeah, I see the symbol of everybody. It's not, that flag does not belong to one group of people. And I think that's what's, I don't know, I think that's what's special about a day like yesterday, the 4th of July. We are all doing one thing together, and yeah, people hate each other. Like, we are more divided now than we've been in a really long time. But I think you could still be patriotic, and I still think that those symbols can mean something. Anyway.
No, and I also think people need to remember that the enemy is not your neighbor or the immigrant or the person who is, different than you.
What about the MAGA?
No, not even that. It's a class war. It's rich trying to stifle middle class and people that are poor. And if you want to call it an us versus them, that's fine. But it's rich and poor. It's a class war. It's not a war against your neighbor. The immigrant is not taking something from you. Mm-hmm. They're not seeking refuge in a country to be safe and taking away your rights. This is about money and power. It's not about the person who's coming here from somewhere else because they want a better life for their family.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, I think we could probably go on forever,
we could.
but this is the never-ending podcast, so we're going to wrap up.
We're going to end it.
End it. And look at you saying that you don't like podcasting, and then you go on.
I just had to get some things off my chest.
Well, let's do this more often.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.